At
What did
some point, social services were called.
you say? You had bloody noses and bruises.
Yeah,
Who did that to you?
my mother. So
Uh,
they call her. She's like, oh, okay, I'll talk to her when she gets back. I get back. She's like, oh, so what is it that's going on in the house? As if she doesn't know. So, of course, me being a child that's had fear installed in me by her, I'm not going to answer that.
I'm
And
sorry
that,
that you had to go through that, getting abused as a child and
mm-hmm,
not having nobody to run to, nobody to even pretty much talk to.
mm-hmm.
What's up, YouTube? Top Flight USA back with another one. How you doing, young lady?
I'm all right.
You all right?
I'm all
Okay.
right.
Um, what's your name, age, and where you from?
Anisha, age 23. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tanisha,
Anisha.
Anisha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry. What brought you to North Carolina, Anisha?
Our family dealing with homelessness at like, what was it? Around 2010,
Okay, so you've been here for a little over 10 years,
13.
13
Mm-hmm.
years. Okay, let's tap into your childhood a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up in a two-parent household?
No, it was just
Okay,
my mom and then my three other siblings.
the three other siblings. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so where are you at in the birth order?
I'm the third child.
Oh,
That's not included the miscarriages, of course. But,
oh, wow.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have two older brothers, two older
Two
sisters.
older sisters and one little brother.
Okay, okay,
Oh yeah, he got blessed with older sisters.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna stay into your childhood for a minute.
Mm.
Um, would you say you grew up in a fairly normal childhood? Like, how was your upbringing as far as your childhood?
I would say shit was normal up until, at least normal for the most part, up until age 5, and then that's when the abuse really kicked in, at least on my mother's end. So,
Okay, you said abuse.
mm,
What happened?
well, it was mostly verbal, but then I would say, like I said, at the age of like around like 4-ish, 5-ish is when it was more physical. So that went on throughout the whole time, even moving back and forth from there to North Carolina. Because we already had family down here, but I don't know. Definitely came to an end when I would say I was like 18.
Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that. I want to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
But so what type of neighborhood did you grow up in as a child?
It was the projects for sure, because we were on like west southish side of Milwaukee, so it was the projects.
Okay. As far as school, what was your highest grade level?
Wait, what? Oh, with like graduation. Oh,
Yeah.
I
Did you graduate
graduated.
high
I
school?
graduated
Where did you graduate at, in Milwaukee or down here in North Carolina?
here in Jamestown.
Jamestown.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's by High Point, right?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Right
So,
outside.
what school is in Jamestown? What was that?
It was Ragsdale.
Ragsdale.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So you graduated from Ragsdale High School. Okay. Let's go back into that abuse part. Did anything ever happen to you when you was younger, sexually, physically, or mentally?
Sexually, no. Physically, yeah. I would have to deal with bloody noses and bruises and all that, even with my siblings. So at
What?
some point, social services were called, but with most families like that, your parents is gonna go over the little script before they get there, so they don't know what was really going on.
You say you had bloody noses and bruises.
Yeah,
Who did that to you?
my mother. It wasn't, the abuse was more verbal on our like our other families end, but it was more physical with our mom.
Right. Um, did you ever tell anybody about that stuff happening to you?
I never went into specifics, but when I was in middle school, I definitely hinted towards my principal that there's a lot going on at home, which led to like how I was reacting in school
Okay. And what happened?
with that incident.
Yeah, when you told your principal.
Man, they didn't do anything other than say we're gonna call your parent. So they
Wow.
call her. She's like, oh, okay, I'll talk to her when she gets back. I get back. She's like, oh, so what is it that's going on in the house? As if she doesn't know. So, of course, me being a child that's had fear installed in me by her, I'm not going to answer that. So,
Right. So that pretty much went nowhere.
yeah, no, it never did.
Wow. I'm
And
sorry
that,
that you had to go through that, getting abused as a child and
mm-hmm,
not having nobody to run to, nobody to even pretty much talk to.
mm-hmm,
You said they went back and told the person that was doing it to you.
every time, even in high school, when they
Wow.
found out I was suicidal at some point, all they did was, okay, let's call your mom. Let's get you some help.
You
Let's
said you
call the
was
person that's caused all this.
you said you was suicidal?
Yeah, but that's not the age it started. It started when I was when I was 12, and
What
it was on and off.
what made you suicidal other than the abuse?
Never feeling heard, never feeling like I had a voice, never feeling like I had any type of control in my life whatsoever, which only magnified the older I got. So,
Wow. I'm sorry that you felt like that. You haven't had any counseling?
mm-mm.
Wow.
I tried to take that into my own hands.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, Anisha, have you ever been addicted to any drugs?
If you consider weed a drug, yes. Outside of that, no.
Well,
Nothing
no,
crazy.
I wouldn't consider weed. Well, it is a drug, but I wouldn't
Hmm.
consider that as a real
Outside of
strong
that,
drug.
I would say no. If it
Anything hard, like,
no, I only ever gotten addicted to smoking, weed and nicotine.
okay. Do you have any kids?
No, but I lost one last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Hmm.
Wow. Um, are you homeless?
Yep.
So, how did you become homeless?
This time around, at least, um, I was staying with people that I did not know at all, just to try to put myself in a better position, only to find out that I pretty much was gonna have to try to work around their schedules, every single person. So there wasn't any loophole for real to actually work and get myself together without it interfering. On top of that, they were trying to control what I did outside of the household. And with any house I've been into, I will always respect every single rule. What I do outside the doors is what I do outside the doors. So I'm an adult. They didn't have any respect for that. So on top of it being in the country where there were no resources out here, I didn't feel safe. So I made the decision to come back out here and head to the shelter so I can do it on my own and not feel like I need to be dependent on anybody, let alone a stranger.
Right.
So
So, would you say it's safe out here? Is it dangerous out here on the streets?
absolutely, absolutely. It's over half of the city are addicts. Anybody that's visiting are, I would say, regular civilians, but the Pretty much everybody in the homeless community over here are addicts. So,
What's the craziest thing you've seen out here?
mm, have to do seeing somebody OD in front of my eyes for the first time.
Wow. Okay. If one of your family members seen this video, what you think their thoughts will be?
They'll be mad for sure. They'll be upset with my mom. I know for a fact they will be because she's the foundation. Like she could have easily helped me out with a lot, but I know for a fact it'll shock a lot of them because they didn't even know about what we were dealing with behind closed doors until recently. So yeah,
Have you ever thought about going back home to your mom's house so you won't have to be out here?
no, no.
Okay.
I have already multiple times and it didn't work out.
Okay. Um, if you could tell the government something about homelessness or about your situation, what would you tell them?
To care more and not treat the homeless community like they're trash. Actually listen, take their statements when something happens, regardless of their circumstances or situation. Everybody's going through something. They shouldn't only listen to regular civilians that have a place to stay.
Right. Okay. And if it was any kids watching this, um, what would you tell them about homelessness and addictions?
Homelessness is something that it's mostly forced onto you, but it also can be a choice, and you can also always make the choice to better your situation to get yourself out of it. Regardless of all of what's going on around you, if you stick to your plan and you know what you want to do, you got it pretty much. So
That's right. That was good advice. And one final question. Um, at this point, so what are we gonna do to get out this situation?
follow through with the plan, use all the resources I can, and not go back to any old habits, any old ways of thinking, and don't hold myself back for sure. That's what I consider my downfall, was not investing in myself when I had the opportunity. So,
That's good. I appreciate the interview, man. Stay in contact with me, so we can stay connected and we can build a little bit more.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Hmm.